Owner fires waitress who sheltered dog in cafe, mops floor in her own vet clinic later. Story of the day. Kelly was an energetic young woman, an animal lover, and a kind human. She enjoyed spending time with cats and dogs at animal shelters and bought them treats once a month. After her parents passed away, the 24-year-old couldn't continue studying at college. Instead, she dropped out midway and worked as a waitress at a local restaurant to make ends meet. Her salary didn't allow her to afford luxuries, but whenever she saved a few bucks at the end of the month, she would use them to buy dog treats. The young woman thrived on watching her furry friends' eyes lighten up with joy whenever she would feed them. One day, Kelly was at work when she saw a dog sitting outside the restaurant while it was snowing. "Oh my God! He must be freezing," Kelly said while she rushed outside to see him. "What happened to you?" Kelly ruffled the dog's fur and realized he was feeling cold. "I'll take you inside with me." Without thinking about what her manager would say, Kelly brought the dog inside the restaurant and wrapped her jacket around him to make him feel warm. She also fed him some snacks she had bought for her dogs at the shelter. While she was feeding her new furry friend, her manager, Luke, who also owned the restaurant, stood in front of her and folded his arms on his chest. "What do you think you are doing here?" he asked sternly. "This dog was freezing in the snow outside, sir," Kelly explained. "I brought him in to make him feel better." "Is this what I hired you for?" Luke asked angrily. "No, sir. But I'll drop him at the animal shelter, sir." "Don't worry," Kelly assured him. "I don't care what you do with this dirty street dog." Luke snarked. "You're fired. Don't bother coming to work tomorrow." Kelly was shocked that Luke fired her because she saved a dog from dying. She desperately needed a job to make ends meet, but it seemed like she had to look for another one now. "I'll make sure other restaurant owners don't hire you," Luke yelled. Kelly looked at him in disbelief. "I'm sorry, sir," she apologized. "You don't deserve to be trusted. I'll use my contacts to ensure no one hires you," he shouted. "No one." Later that day, Kelly dropped the dog at the local shelter and walked back home disappointed. She lost her job when she needed money the most and had no idea what she would do next. "I'm sure no one will hire me as a waitress because of Luke," she said. "He has a strong network in the industry." The next day, Kelly woke up and visited the nearby animal shelter. She thought spending time with animals would make her feel better. While she was playing with the dogs, the manager told her about a job opening. "Kelly, do you know someone who would like to work here with our dogs?" he asked. "We offer a generous salary for this position and a few benefits too." At that point, Kelly thought fate was giving her a chance to work again. Later that day, Kelly returned home smiling because the animal shelter manager had hired her for a full-time position. She didn't have to worry about looking for a job anymore. However, she had no idea that her new job would make her meet the man of her dreams. A few days after Kelly started working at the shelter, she noticed a handsome man who volunteered there frequently. One day, she approached him and told him she worked there. "I see you come here every weekend," Kelly smiled. "What's your name?" "I'm Simon," the man said. "I think spending time with these cute dogs heals me internally. It helps me de-stress after spending 5 days a week at my workplace." Soon, Kelly and Simon became friends. Once they realized they had similar interests and enjoyed each other's company, they thought of dating each other. After months of dating, Kelly realized that although Simon belonged to a wealthy family, he didn't like taking money from his father. He worked hard to earn money, just like she did. "Why don't you move in with me, Kelly?" Simon asked one day. He knew she had no family and that living alone wasn't easy. "We can split the expenses and save money for our goal." "You mean our goal of opening a vet clinic?" Kelly asked excitedly. "I didn't know you were serious about it." "I am very serious about it, Kelly," he exclaimed. After the couple moved in together, they worked multiple jobs and saved the money they needed to start their own clinic. It took them a year to save their goal amount. However, before they could start their clinic, they decided to tie the knot. Kelly didn't have a lot of guests from her side except a few friends, while Simon invited his parents and friends from school and college. The couple got a surprise on their wedding day that changed their lives. Simon's father announced that he would provide funds for their new clinic as their wedding gift, which meant they could now open a much bigger facility. "Thank you so much, Dad." Simon hugged his father. "I've never taken money from you, but I will accept this amount because you are giving it to us as our wedding gift." "Yes, thank you so much." Kelly smiled. A few weeks after their wedding, Kelly and Simon began hunting for a space they could buy for their clinic. While Kelly was going through ads online, she found one from her ex-employer. "Luke is selling his restaurant." She looked at her laptop screen with eyes wide open. "I think I should tell Simon about it." After Kelly told Simon about the restaurant, he went there to talk to Luke and learned he was selling his restaurant space because of unprofitability. Once Simon negotiated the price a bit and Luke agreed, he made a deal and promised to transfer the money the next day. "Thank you for buying my restaurant, Simon," Luke smiled. "I have one request." "Sure, what is it?" Simon asked. "Well, my financial situation hasn't been the best these past few months," Luke explained. Luke thought Simon bought his restaurant because he wanted to open his own. The man had no idea that Simon wanted to open a vet clinic. "Sure, Luke," Simon said. "I think you will be a good fit for the administrator role at our clinic." "Your clinic?" Luke asked. "I thought you were opening a restaurant." "My wife and I have decided to open a vet clinic, Luke. This is our dream project." "You're going to spoil this place," Luke yelled. "I built this place with so much effort. And you're going to reconstruct it and put animals here? That's insane." Simon gave him a surprised look because he wasn't sure why Luke was angry. "Are you sure you want to sell this space to me?" Since Luke was bankrupt and needed to pay debts, he had no other option except to sell his restaurant and work in the vet clinic as an administrator. "I'm sorry," Luke said. "I want to sell my restaurant and work as an administrator here. It's a deal." On the first day of work, Luke arrived on time at the vet clinic. He was sitting at his desk when he suddenly saw a familiar face in the corridor. "Hi, Luke," Kelly smiled at him. "Kelly," he gave her a confused look. "Yes, it's me. I worked at your restaurant as a waitress," Kelly said. "But it looks like the tables have turned." "Remember what you told me on my last day?" she asked him. "Is she my boss now?" Luke thought and looked at the ground as he realized he had been too mean to Kelly. He was her employer in the past, but now she was commanding him to clean the floor. "I'm really sorry for firing you, Kelly," he apologized. "I know I was arrogant back then, but you have taught me a lesson I'll remember forever."